Alrighty, looks like I'm back. Internet found itself unexpectedly partway through whatever I was up to. I think I had about 9 or 10 minutes remaining on the timer. Currently, 2 minutes, so I've lost 7 minutes of footage, which is joys of modern connectivity, I suppose. Could have been a lot worse. Anyway, let's continue on. We are nearly at Lake Kusharo, which is not far from here. Now it's Kusharo is it's a big caldera, so it's like a huge volcano hole that's filled with water later on. So I believe it is the largest caldera lake in Japan, but it's only like in the top 10 of largest lakes. But it's the only one to, or it's the largest one to completely freeze over. So we will probably just see an ice plain as we fly over it. Now I do believe it's only at an elevation of about like 100, 200 meters. But we should be able to fly over it, and yet it's not looking like we're necessarily going to clear that. So I might just go up an extra few hundred feet, just in case. I think we'll be clear actually, but yeah, we will be. I'm going to turn off vertical speed just to hold the altitude. We should be fine, and if not, I've got sufficient power in the bank to throw the throttle up and bring us out. We should be turning over the lake just shortly. We'll be on the other side of this hill. Might even drop down once we clear the little bit of elevation here. See how we're going. Lake Kusharo, so you can sort of see the large volcanic explosion would have blown this out. And then we've got island, I think it's Nakajima. Nakajima here in the centre, which is middle island, I guess is how you translate that. But we're out over a great big ice plain. Now it's pretty large, like as I said before, it's the largest caldera lake in Japan that actually freezes solid in the winter. So this is a pretty large expanse of ice. I don't know if you'd want to walk on it necessarily, but certainly near the edges would be pretty safe, I imagine. And fairly large internal island. We're travelling at 150 knots ground speed here, through airspeed, and taking us 30 seconds to a minute to cross this island. So relatively large in the grand scheme of things. Quite a beautiful lake. Imagine flying over here in the warmer months would be absolutely stunning. But anyway, I'm going to head off over Lake Manchu just over there, and then we're going to head in and come in and land shortly. So I think I'm going to be quiet now until final approach. I will see you as I retake command or we come in for landing.
Romeo Juliet Charlie November traffic BLXC 445, 12 miles west, 2,200 feet inbound to land runway 08. Romeo Juliet Charlie November traffic BLXC 445 is on base runway 08.
Alrighty, we're coming into landing here. This stuff doesn't really mean anything, so I'm going to bring that up. It's a little bit fiddly, flicking back between controls and the mouse and everything like that. We are going to need to come off autopilot now. Let's check our speed. Small wind pushing us from that direction, in the nose of the plane, but we should be fine coming in. Not going to push us too far off course, I don't think. Our speed is quite high. Unfortunately, I can't see the throttle percentage from inside the plane. If anyone knows how, then by all means, please tell me. I need to duck out here every now and then just to keep an eye on where the actual lever position is until I get an actual, what do you call those things? An actual stick and HOTAS setup. I won't be able to actively have an idea of where I have my throttles. Wish there was an easier way, and unfortunately there is not that I'm aware of. Again, if you know one that I can tell from inside the cockpit, by all means let me know. Now I need to bring our speed down quite a bit, because I can't actually put flaps down just yet. So let me just cut throttle to 40%, which is probably too low to sustain a major flight, but we'll bring our speed down. I need to go below this white line to risk avoiding any damage to the flaps. We're now below. Let's bring flaps down one step. And I think I'm going to need a little bit more engine power because we're losing speed. I'm also going to bring down the landing gear. Don't forget that. We're actually losing height quite severely here, so I'm just going to keep our nose up. Looks like I brought flaps all the way down, which was silly of me. I'm going to need to slam on the power a little bit here and pull us out. I want to get to about 90 knots. It's going to be definitely, again, be glad I'm not your pilot, but we are coming in for what should be a fairly nice landing, if somewhat precarious on the inbound landing part of the final approach. As I'll tell them I'm on final. It's probably a bit late, but whatever. I've drifted off center.
Juliet Charlie November traffic BLXC 445 is on final
landing gear's down, flaps are down. We are way off center, but that's alright. Let's just hit the ground. Gently. Ooh, that was a bit hard. Alright. Question is, where do I taxi to? Not sure. See if this map gives me any indication. Probably back there. I need to do a quick turnaround. Can I vacate the runway? Is there a taxiway? Doesn't look like it. Taxiway over there, I can't actually tell. I don't think those are taxiways. I think they're just lines in the sand. Either way, I'm going to head down there. We'll see what we can find. If not, I'll just do a turn around and taxi on the actual runway. Like it could be a taxiway of some sort. It's very, very narrow though. I think it's more of an access route for vehicles. But the interests of getting off the runway, we will use it as a taxiway. Ooh, so looking a bit precarious here. Definitely not a taxi. Don't tell anyone. You know what? I think I've gone the wrong way. It's a very confusing airport. Yeah, let's just slide around that and park here. I have no idea where I'm meant to go, but joys of Microsoft Flight Sim, and I love these small airports. Anyway, shut this baby down. We currently have 27% fuel remaining. I don't know of a way to get that once I quit out, but we will turn everything off. And those down, fuel off, and then as soon as I click avionics at master, it typically cuts me out of the simulation. So we'll see what happens. There we go. Now, we're not done yet. We are not done yet. I'm going to bring up my little thing here. We had, I said 27. Hope I did. Too much talking, not enough thinking. 27%, I believe I said. Now, it is currently... No, it's not. What do we got here? We've got 1 hour and 46 flight time. Are we in at 1 hour 46 minutes? And I do want to do this online, on stream, so that people can actually see how it's going. It is currently 6:02. Say 6 p.m. makes the math easier. 6 p.m. local time. Local is in where I am, not where the plane is. I believe the plane is probably on 4 or 5 p.m. Plane time, which is exactly 2 hours. That makes the math very simple here. So I did 596 kilometers, and I did it in 2 hours. So I can do this in my head, but we'll just do this on. People can see exactly how I work it out. So I got 298. Average speed. There was a fair bit of climbing and dipping, and I didn't have the engines running particularly powerfully, and I wasn't particularly high most of the time either. We were going through some fairly thick air for the most part. So our speed wasn't spectacular. Now I do need to go back after stream and verify I did start at 55%, but it was roughly that, and I'll show you how I calculate, assuming that number is indeed correct. My total time in this flight from when I started has now been 58 hours and 1 minute. 1 minute. Okay, now there. So there are 337 liters in this thing. So 337 multiplied by 0.55 means I started with 185.35. That's how many liters roughly I started with. And I'll edit this if it turns out to be different. So 27 is 28% fuel I used. So I go for 185. Why am I doing that? Why am I doing this the difficult way? 337 multiplied by 0.28. That's what I did. I used 94.36. I'm being an idiot today. I used 94.36. Never do math on stream. Or remember things on stream. 94. That's how many liters I used in total. Now the kilometers per percentage point of fuel. I'm trying to build up an average here. So that when I get to longer legs, I can calculate how far I can go. But I used 596 k's I went. So 596 kilometers. I then divide that by 28%. Gives me 22.29. Really? I obviously got the incorrect starting fuel there because there is no way that I was as efficient as that one there. But anyway, let's pretend I wasn't that efficient. 21.29 kilometers per litre. So again, this is just similar information that I can bring back in one go. We have ourselves 596 divided by 24.36 litres apparently. Gives me somewhat too fuel efficient. So I definitely was not 55%. But anyway, we got 6.32. And the total cost, now Japan, I looked that up earlier, is I have a 4-year-old who needs attention, so I'm nearly finished. But we've got ourselves, we've got 94.36 litres we're working with, multiplied by 79.4 cents per litre of Jet A1 fuel in Japan currently, as of today. Equals $74.92 to refuel. $74.92. So we've total in fuel, I've spent $2,361.95 American. That's in American dollars in fuel for the entire trip. So that's how we go. That's how we got here. This is the current up-to-date chart of how we're traveling. Average speeds vary quite a bit, but roughly about 300. I'm happy with that. Take care, guys, and I will see you for the next stream.